Let's not involve both with the involvement and uninvolvement. Continue to conclude through Nibbana, purifying samsara onwards. Nothing to do with involvement or uninvolvement. That which has nothing to do with letting go or not letting go. Nothing to do with my or not my. Nothing to do with both involvement or uninvolvement. Let's proceed simultaneously with samsara as well, so that there is no adding on with the grasping mind. That is not coming to term with ending. It is to be used for the blessing. It is the reminder of the great compassion for the blessing. Coming to terms towards ending for samsara, it is not for the sake of conclusion for oneself. It has to be proceeded simultaneously with everything. Neither involved with involvement or uninvolvement. And the ending itself, finish the finishing itself, end within no time. Let's proceed with samsara thoroughly. Definitely not just for the sake of Nibbana. Let's proceed together with Nibbana, with samsara, and involved within the uninvolvement itself with everything. Proceed simultaneously with everything. With everything. Otherwise, you have to learn again about the blessing. Let's proceed at once, simultaneously, all together. because it's a waste of time to learn again about the blessing. Coming or going, or not going or not coming, blessing is as usual. That which has nothing to do with even the uninvolvement itself. Use the reminders thoroughly, purification within the purification itself, purifying the uninvolvement within itself. Neither involved with involvement or uninvolvement. Uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself with everything. Everything is from uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself. This is the mighty force helping through the unwinding and liberation is greatly, tremendously. Brighten out immediately. The brightness we release from itself is from self-releasing. Then comes the brightness. The grasping discards the grasping itself, not grasping for the non-grasping itself. The non-grasping discarding itself. That which has nothing to do with taking or not taking. Uninvolved even within the uninvolvement itself. Unwinding, discarding, unwinding. The brightness that purifies samsara. We need to give it completely and fully because the brightness will be radiating greatly, uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself completely. Because it ends the ending itself. Discard the discarding itself, dissolve the dissolvement itself, unwind from unwinding itself is not just about unwind from anything, from uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself, let it be thorough. You will realize which sentence that has power for the blessing, which one not. It's impossible to be limited with just for the sake of one's own enlightenment. It's impossible. And neither about being just for the sake of emptiness. Proceed simultaneously with everything and involved within the uninvolvement itself. Everything is not attached to the non-attachment itself. Everything is from not attached to the non-attachment itself. Everything is from uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself. Naturally, it will not be about involvement or uninvolvement. Any sentences that is for just pure Nibbana, which one is purifying to Samabat of Sunyata? When you use any sentences, you will know, you will realize Long Po knows well about this because Long Po created all these sentences. If enlightenment for the sake of itself is going to be a burden for Long Po. So, from uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself, let's share it frequently and simultaneously with everything. Completely as well. Fully. Uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself to be given fully. This will be complete purification of emptiness and extinction. An absolute purification. These are the terminologies of the Great Compassion. When they are used as reminders, everything is from uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself. From mind, which is from mind itself, with everything, simultaneously and instantly. From not grasping for the non-grasping itself. Automatically, we have nothing to do with grasping or not grasping, mind or not mind. We still need to rely on terminologies as a purification. Otherwise, if we aim towards using terminologies, it's aiming just being specific with Nibbana. There is no movement of the great compassion towards samsara. We need to assume up terminologies, using them if just discarding terminologies for Nibbana alone, purely, great compassion will not be moved towards samsara. Let's proceed simultaneously. Everything is from uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself, from not attached to the non-attachment itself with everything. Let's proceed simultaneously with the great compassion of helping through unwinding and liberation. Helping through unwinding means that the unwinding is within itself, auto-unwinding only. It's not about unwinding from anything. Then it will be possible to help through unwinding. Uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself is not about uninvolved with anything. This will become helping through unwinding and liberation. The uninvolvement alone is not yet helping. It's just only releasing from something, not yet helping through releasing. Not yet. Nothing to do with neither involvement or uninvolvement. Let's proceed simultaneously with this essence. Everything is from uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself, from not attached to the non-attachment itself with everything. Everything is from not grasping for the non-grasping itself. Everything is from not attached to the non-attachment itself. From give up, the giving up itself. Continue to use the reminders of the word everything so that the great compassion will be opened up. And open up eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind. Don't close your eyes and ears. It's going to be too density within oneself, within meditative power. Contemplation, all that will be dense within oneself, cannot be released out. Especially at the heart, that's so dense. It cannot be add anything at all. That's why give up the giving up itself, discard the discarding itself, let go of the letting go itself. Because whatever you are at, you'll be blocked right there. Use the reminders of the great compassion, everything from uninvolved in the uninvolvement itself, everything. In this way, your parami will not be blocked within yourself. Parami is a kind of karma. The perfection is a kind of karma. If it's not in the way of purifying through the assume up itself, the assume up that purifies itself, then it will be blocked within oneself. Nibbana has nothing to do with having parami or not. That's why the saying, even there is no parami, just a tiny bit of using the reminders of cutting within itself continuously. Continue with these reminders, that's it. Nibbana has nothing to do with parami at all. Therefore, power of parami is from the assume up of body-mind elements of meditative power. Assume up, assume up, assume up is karma in the parami, karma in Dhamma. If not using to purify for samsara, it will be retained within oneself, blocked within oneself. It's like an explosion inside, again and again and again. Some people have something like that because it's blocked. The parami is blocked. Therefore, the power of parami is all about assume up to blessed beings. Therefore, there's a lot of power in it. And mindfulness, concentration, contemplation, meditative power, equanimity, and patience is already there in its nature because of the assume up for blessing. If you practice for attainment, this will be blocked. It's a kind of karma in such a way. Otherwise, they would not call those people Geji, master, the master. It's blocked. Whenever it's releasing out, it's become karma to karma. Everything is from not attached to the non-attachment itself. That which has nothing to do with karma. Everything is from not attached, uninvolved in the uninvolvement itself. It has nothing to do with karma. Therefore, the power of parami that is arising from the blessing continuously, it becomes the power of the purification of the extinction and emptiness for samsara instead. And you can help purify samsara through the extinction and emptiness tremendously. You have to change from taking to giving. Open up to give completely out from your own stock. Open up and give away, give out, changing from taking to giving instead. Awakening as giving, bursting out as giving, for example. In the way of uninvolvement within the uninvolvement itself, not attached to the non-attachment itself. Awaken out as giving, bursting out as giving. And this will purify all the grasping mind, which is retaining parami and karma within oneself, retaining suffering within oneself on and on. Retaining suffering and suffering retained within oneself on and on. Even when you eat, you have to excrete as well. If you eat a lot, then you have to excrete a lot. If you have less excretion, what will happen? Take a look. You will see. You will have to detox, rotten inside. Therefore, all the projection for obtaining, you have to share it completely and absolutely. Giving away. If you take in 100, then give out 100. Or more than 100, then it will totally end from your mind. Whatever you practice and project from attainment, let's proceed through give up the giving up itself. That's it. From not grasping for the non-grasping itself, that ends all about ending itself. Finish the finishing itself. In all about minds. Therefore, if the opening to give is not absolute, then there is something that is stuck inside. Meditative power is retained within. Back and forth, retaining. All in all, it's become a pitfall, not beneficial at all. Everything is like karma. Otherwise, there is this saying, karma overlaying dhamma. Karma overlaying the parami, karma overlaying blessed fortune, overlaying the world and dhamma, karma. Therefore, everything is from give up, the giving up itself, not attached to the non-attachment itself. This will correct and unlock the karma, purifying karma. Releasing from the attachment means that it is releasing from karma, unlocking karma, purifying karma, correcting karma. Karma is created by the attachments, the fixation. For Dhamma, for mindfulness, then is the karma overlaying mindfulness and Dhamma. Meditative power and all that is karma overlaying. Any projection towards stillness, indifference, single-mindedness, this is all about karma overlaying Dhamma. It's called the delusive attachment of karma. Everything is from not attached to the non-attachment itself. This is releasing from the upathan kama, the delusive attachment of karma. Releasing from the upathan means releasing from karma. It is solving karma and cleansing karma. This is from myself. This is the essence of not attached to the non-attachment itself. This will release being karma, solving karma. This is not about healing. This is truly unlocking. This is from uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself. This is already releasing from the upatan, the delusive attachment. From all the intentions, released from all intentions already, releasing from karma already. It's all the same essence here. Not attached to the non-attachment itself, not grasping for the non-grasping itself, not attached to the non-attachment itself. Release from the releasing itself is not just releasing from something. This is called unlocking and cleansing karma simultaneously at the same time. Therefore, Nibbana has nothing to do with parami at all, even a tiny bit. Nibbana is not classified as the result of anything, and is not classified as coming from anything. Nibbana is not even Nibbana itself. It is not a fruit of anything. Therefore, power of parami has two aspects. One is from helping through unwinding and releasing and breaking samsara continuously. And then there is great power for the enlightenment for samsara. Another one is the power that coming from practicing with the projection for attainment. This is totally karma, pure karma, and it's purely stuck within oneself. There is just pitfall and pitfalls because of the projection to obtain and attain pure karma. These tools have different outcomes. The one that help the parami, the power of parami that helps samsara through the blessing is not retained within itself. Unlike that which is practiced for attainment, because that will be stuck within oneself. There will be a pitfall. The first one is the parami that is not fixated to itself, because it doesn't begin with the projection for attainment or accumulation. This is the vow of the Mahakaruna, the great compassion. It's not a fixation in the parami itself. The second parami is from practicing with the projection of attainment, has the upatan in it, having delusion and delusive attachment in it. The more of it, the more suffering will be. The second kind, which is from accumulation and projection for attainment. This is like the parami that is fixated to itself. Unlike those with the great compassion and help through giving and giving up, that is the parami that is not fixated to itself. There is no pitfall in it. And this kind will not be suffering by the parami. But the second kind, they will be possessive with the parami, with the perfection. Don't let Luang Po tell you how it is with the possession. Being afraid of having no more parami, losing parami, like this and that, etc. That is like a symptom of possessiveness. Being possessive with objects. Karma with the parami is like there is no liberation in the parami. This is the extreme suffering. Extreme suffering. Unlike the first kind, which has something to do with the vow of the Mahakaruna, supporting and giving, that is shifting towards the blessing only. That is the parami that is not fixated to itself, that has no possession to the parami itself. This is called no suffering that is retained inside. On the opposite, If you practice for attainment, it's like the parami that is in prison, retain the suffering within. Therefore, the perfection by the foundation of the great compassion to bless samsara and all beings, it will not retaining itself. It is the perfection, the parami that is liberated within itself as it is, giving and sharing, unlike those who practice and project for attainments. When it's like that, it's fixated to itself, therefore it's retaining suffering within. Uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself. Listen again and again, hear again and again. Even you don't have the parami, it will help cut through the cycle of circling. From my, which is from my itself, uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself. Like this, it will release out and discarding continuously in itself, being aligned with the essence of Nibbana. Even there is no parami within oneself, just hear the essence, listen. From not grasping for the non-grasping itself, everything from my, which is from my itself. That which has nothing to do with letting go or not letting go, my or not my, let's proceed simultaneously. That which has nothing to do with letting go or not letting go, my or not my, let's proceed simultaneously with everything. Coming to term with Nibbana, purifying samsara continuously. That which has nothing to do even with involvement or uninvolvement. Let's proceed on. Continue to purify through Nibbana for samsara. That which has nothing to do with letting go or not letting go. Let's proceed simultaneously with everything.